Yo, you want to see something cool? No? Well, I'm going to do it anyway.
Step into the scene. No, nobody can do it like me. Zoop house plate with the kick cuisine.
Ow! Again.
Oh my god. I'm poking.
Oh, it's so hard to do all the things at once.
Oh man.
What's up, y'all? It's the Two Guys Trying podcast. First episode ever. We're not really sure what we're doing, but we're giving it a shot.
As you can see by sitting on a piece of firewood.
Yeah, it wasn't a firewood. It was actually the thing that holds the firewood, so it's a little pointy right here, and it went right into my left butt cheek. But we're fine, and we're gonna get into a little bit of behind the scenes of Two Guys Trying.
As you can tell, we're comfy. We're in our slippies. Got us fire. Nothing special. Nothing big going on here.
But yeah, we figured we'd do a little behind the scenes and let you guys kind of know what's going on when we're out fishing. And when we're out fishing, we don't really talk. Like,
No.
we're kind of so focused on catching fish that there's not really an understanding of what's going on in the background. Something we started talking about earlier, which I think might be important for people to know, is the reason kind of behind why we're doing what we're doing, and you know what kind of motivates us. So him and I, we've both been fishing for a long time, and Matt and I are actually in a motorcycle club together. He's been my brother from before the motorcycle club. We've just had a great friendship. But one of the things that's really tightened and solidified like our friendship is fishing together. And so we'll spend days and almost all night in the garage.
Yeah.
Just putting together rod and reel combos and rigging up for our next trip.
Research, all that good stuff that comes with it.
Yeah, getting the boat ready, all that good stuff. And I thought something that was really neat, sort of the reason why we're out there and we try as hard as we do is, we had guys before us who were fishing, right? Like, guys before us who've been doing this for a very long time. The guys we learned how to fish from, if we were lucky enough.
Grandpas and so forth.
Yeah, exactly. So, when we set up the boat and we were getting it ready for fishing, it was just a boat, like a regular, go out and do water sports kind of boat. And my neighbor, Craig, ended up passing away, who was an adamant fisher, who fished all the time, who had his own fishing boat. And when he had passed away, his wife, Barbara, actually gave me his fish finder and some of his fishing supplies. And when my girlfriend passed away, her grandpa ended up giving me all his fishing rods and some of his fishing stuff. So we've kind of combined.
When your girlfriend's grandpa passed away?
Yeah. What did I say?
When your girlfriend passed away?
Oh, shit. Yeah, my girlfriend didn't pass away. Her grandpa did. Sorry. I'm trying to put it all together. But yeah, so when he passed away, I ended up getting a bunch of his fishing stuff. And I think one of the cool things that we talked about is when we go out in the water and when we go fishing is that we have an accumulation of like all their things with all their memories and all the fish that they've caught on, this little new boat that we're working on and that we're trying to turn more into a fishing boat because it's actually more of like a family, your water skiing, doing water sports kind of boat.
Yeah.
But we have those things on the boat and it just makes it that much more of a outstanding feeling, like when we're out there and especially when we catch a fish.
Yeah.
And this last time when I caught the king salmon, it was incredible because I caught a fish, number one, but then also I caught it on Grandpa's old rod, and that just felt so good. So, when we're out there, we kind of just use a lot of the things that we've learned from our grandparents and the people who fished before us, and we try to put it all together with what's happening now, like on the water, and what we have to work with, and it ends up becoming a really beautiful thing.
Yeah, and one of the biggest things that we wanted too is we wanted to get back into fishing because as life happens, you get out of it. I used to be a really big bass fisherman. Lost all my bass fishing gear and all that, built it back up. Car got stolen. everything's gone again. So I'm kind of building back up to where I was also, and it's something that I've always wanted to get back into, is just not specifically doing bass fishing, but just fishing in general.
Yeah.
Anywhere, bass fishing, trolling,
Yeah.
lakes, rivers, anything. So I like being able to get back out and
Yeah.
get back on the water, and not just from land, but from a boat, which is
Yeah.
also a big plus.
Yeah.
Sometimes it don't really matter because you don't catch shit, but you're on a boat. Either
Having a
way,
good time.
having
Yeah.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah, and one thing I would say too, like, I don't know, for my life, like, I'm going from hanging out in bars and drinking all the time and hanging out with people who drink, and it's nice to get back in touch with myself and the things that I actually like to do.
Yeah.
And you've been a really big part of that. Like, being able to, again, we just old man chill in my garage
all the time.
And
Every
like I
night.
said, we're fiddling with rods, or we're watching fishing videos, and we're figuring out like how to catch the fish around here. And those nights that we spend doing that, like, versus me being at the bar and doing whatever, like, are so much more. Those times are so much more meaningful.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's simple living, man. Like, there's not a lot of people. I don't know. I feel like people who don't like to fish don't really understand like the satisfaction that comes with when you catch that fish.
Yeah.
You fillet it and you go home and you eat that son of a bitch. Like, it just feels so good. Like, I went out and I fend for myself.
Yeah.
Like,
You can live in the garage now.
Yeah.
It's perfectly fine.
I can just be on the boat in the Folsom Lake and then back to my garage and I can survive.
Yeah.
Like, I
Don't
don't really
need no
need
bed.
a house.
Don't
Yeah.
need a bed.
Yeah, I don't need Walmart delivering me groceries. I got this. Like, it's such a good feeling. So, us being into this and, starting off just fishing, this is what we like to do. We're out at the river. We don't even have a boat. Then we get a boat and we're like, we're going to make the most of this.
Yeah.
And we take the boat home and
Set it up to how we like. 'cause
Exactly.
It's just mostly me and you on there, so
yeah, exactly.
you got your side of the boat. I got my side of the
Yeah.
boat. You can keep your side of the boat however the hell you want. I
Yeah.
can keep my side of the boat however the hell I want.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the little things, right? Like how our whole logo came about. Like,
Yeah.
we eat canned goods. Like, shoot, like.
Yeah.
I haven't had some good old canned goods in a long time, but
Yeah.
you got this propane stove. What would be cooler than
Yeah.
making some good old canned goods on the propane stove on the boat?
Some tamales,
Like-
some ravioli,
Yeah.
some soups,
Yeah.
anyway.
And it's good, man. Like, and when you're out there, like, you don't care what you eat. Like,
Yeah.
really, like, it doesn't have to be a 5-star
That's
meal.
second priority, if anything.
Yeah, exactly.
First priority is getting that line in the water.
Yeah, and right now we're fishing in the winter time,
Yeah.
so it just feels good to have something warm in your belly.
Oh, yeah.
Matt's been making his signature coffee, and tell him what it is, because
All it is it's a shitty mocha. It's coffee. It's milk, and then I throw in boiling water, instant coffee, and then like 12 scoops of Nesquik. So it's like a shitty mocha thing, but that shit hits on the water.
it tastes like Christmas morning. And then again, when you're out there on the boat, you don't have any kind of heater, and you're freezing cold. And he's got his little thermos full of his little. And man, it hits so good.
Piping hot, drinking out of the cup lid. And
Yeah.
just a little warm me up.
Gives you a little energy to keep you going with the coffee. But yeah, it's oh yeah, phew, I'm awake, I'm
Yeah.
alive. Like, let's go. Like,
Yeah.
gives you that little boost. So it's literally it's the little things, and we've been trying to make the most out of what we got, and it's been really cool, like getting the feedback that we've had. Because I used to watch guys fishing on YouTube,
Yeah.
and I was like, man, like, I didn't realize like you could do that. Like,
And that's how kind of all this started, is that we were watching YouTube videos and we're like, man, we should do that. Like, we should get out on the boat and we should get downriggers and we should have set up like this, or, and even we were talking like, man, we could even eat, like, we could bring a Coleman stove. What we do? We looked at the fucking stove in the garage and made sure that it was up to par. And that shit fits nice underneath the dash, so it's out of the way. Yeah. It's there when we need it.
Yeah.
Shitty pot and pan, and some cups and some spoon. Like, we're set. We are not picky people.
Yeah, and it's cool because everything is kind of worked like organically. Like, we're not forcing anything, not trying to make anything what it shouldn't be or blow up. Or we just like when we do something that we think is super cool, and other people are like, it is super cool.
Yeah,
like,
and that's already the feedback that we've got just in the few short, shitty videos that we've made, Your family likes them. I like them. We have a few subscribers. Not sure who they are, but if it's you, thank you very much. Appreciate that. You know, and that's we're kind of just not really biding our time, but we're just doing stuff that we want to do and that we've always talked about. And if it turns into entertainment for other people, then so be it. Like, we couldn't want anything more. You know, nothing more, nothing less. Where we're at, we're doing what we want to do.
Yeah, and I don't think we're the most entertaining people in the world. Like,
hell no.
We have our own vibe. We have our own, get down and how we do things and how we communicate with one another. And for a lot of people that may be fucking boring. Yeah. But to us, it's
and whoever else wants to watch two fat dudes eat raviolis on a boat.
Yeah, for us, it's the best of times. And
we're living.
I think for us, like, to be able to kick back and watch this stuff when we're not fishing and like when we're just sitting and chilling, like it's pretty cool. Like, see yourself on the big screen a little bit, like or see the times that you had, like even if it was just a few weeks ago, it's like, oh yeah, like that happened. I remember that. Like it's cool.
Like I do. We watched our first video in the garage and I'm like, man, I want to go home to my 70-inch TV and watch this shit in HD. And I did. And my lady gave me the look and then just walked into the bedroom like, you fucking retard.
Yeah, but you know what? It's simple. It's simple living. And one thing that I was talking to my cousin Andre about not too long ago is that I feel like nowadays a lot of people don't take time to appreciate the simple things. Yeah. I was talking to him and we were having a deep conversation like on the phone, and I walked outside and the moon was just big, bright, and beautiful. Like the biggest and the most beautiful I've seen it in a long time, like years. Like, and I was like, in the middle of the conversation, I was like, oh my God. I was like, can you see the moon? And he was like, no, like, let me walk outside and try to see it. He couldn't see it. But I was explaining to him, like, dude, like, the moon looks incredible right now. And one thing he said was like, man, that's a good, like, that's something cool that you do. Is like, you're able to kind of take time to experience the things in life that are the most, the simple things. Yeah. It doesn't have to be really complex for you to appreciate the things around you. And so little things like the moon, little things like being on the water, little things like, seeing a deer cross the river, that's... Yeah. Seeing horses walk the trail, like, a lot of people don't have time or make the time to experience those kinds of things, and those are the things when I look back at my life that I truly like appreciate the most. Like, those are the things that hit your soul.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it feels good.
Yeah. So, I mean, just in a short sense, that's a little background as us, so we, we're not sure where this podcast direction is going to go, but we figured we'd start talking about fishing since that's what our channel is about. So, I guess we'll get into it, past what we've done, where we're at now, what we want to do. Yeah. So, I guess we can start off by saying we're in Citrus Heights here, in, Sacramento County, California. Yep. So our main lake is Folsom Lake. Mm-hmm. I'm sure whoever watches this or knows Folsom Lake, that the water level drops this time of year. Mm-hmm. And it's either a really good thing or a really bad thing. It can mean the fish are finicky because of the changing water conditions, or it can just mean that it condenses them and they're hungry, or the food is so condensed that it's easier for them to eat. And they're not eating when your line's out there. Yeah. So, some of the things that we've done in the past few weeks when we've gone out, we've tried a bunch of different things. We've tried night crawlers, soaking on the bottom. We've done flashers and little squids, I call them. 2 hooks. Little lures. Looks like little squid, so we've been running, trolling on the fish finder, wherever the fish are. We see bait balls. Sometimes, mostly we're just seeing fish, kind of trying to chase and see where they're going. So we've been using shiners with about a 2 to 3 foot leader on the back. Mm-hmm. Every time me and Mark have gone out, I'm a bad luck charm apparently. We haven't caught shit when I'm out there with him, but he caught a king salmon, a silver, and also a trout. And one bass when we went out together, coincidentally trolling, caught a largemouth bass, which was crazy. But what else have we tried out there?
I mean, when we went on the Sac River, we tried liver, and I don't know, it just kind of depends on the water where you're at and the time of the day, right? Yeah. Like, I think that I've had better luck catching fish earlier in the day versus when we've been out in the evenings. Yeah. But the time that I caught fish was typically more on a night crawler.
Yeah.
And what was crazy was the little the guy you're talking about that we have on the flasher. Mine ended up breaking off. And so instead, I just threw on like the normal hook size that I use, which is about like yay high.
Yeah.
And I threw a night crawler on it, and sure enough, I got that king salmon. One of the things, like since I moved up here 8-9 years ago, I was like,
crawlers.
well, no, I was like, man, I really want to catch a salmon.
Yeah.
And like to do that, I wanted to get a big guy like out the river. Like, yeah, I want a nice sized river salmon. But it was cool because I got a king salmon, which I wasn't expecting to, just on that little rig, and I wasn't expecting to catch anything.
Yeah.
And what was crazy, it was overcast that day, and as soon as I caught him, like I wanted to go back and troll in that spot again. As soon as I caught him, storm came in. Boom. And the wake was incredible. Like we were pushing up against rocks, and we just had to get out there. That's the episode I was out there with Bree, and she was like, oh my God. She was terrified.
Shout out, Bree.
Yeah. So Bree, yeah, she was terrified. So I was like, it's all right. I caught one. Like we could get back. Like it's more than I usually catch. So we're good to go.
One is the number.
Yeah, whatever it is, man. Like I'm lucky to get the thing in the boat, but yeah, I think what we're aiming for is just to get a nice, 3-4 fish every time we get out there, whether that be bass or king salmon, just to get some sort of consistency when we're out there.
And that's what we're looking for too when it comes to the consistency. And we've been going to Folsom religiously almost every week, and what we're trying to do also is we're trying to get the feel and the patterns down as well. Anyone who knows Folsom Lake, they know it's an incredibly tricky lake. So you got two rivers flowing into it. Right now it seems to be, I looked on Folsom Lake Fishing Report, someone was measuring the water temp down to 110 feet.
Wow.
And it was consistent with the level, with the top level of the water. So temperature doesn't seem to be too different in areas. But like I say, you got different flows from the river, you got different bends, different pockets, everything like that. So what we've been trying to do is we've been trying to get the patterns down. Every time we go, we have one spot that we go. Every time on one spot of this, little circle area, the fish are stacked on the reader. And that's at the North Fork. If you know Folsom Lake, you know where the little floating bathroom is. So that little pocket right there.
SS Relief.
Yeah, we're always measuring it on the big rock wall, the boulder rock wall, not the little sand areas on the side. But the other side, and that's consistently where fish seem to be stacked for us.
And I will say too, like it's been awesome. Like the game changer is having the fish finder. Like before the fish finder, we're fishing in the dark. We don't know where they're at or where they might be biting.
Blind.
And it's when you find a little pocket of fish and you see kind of where they're running and you troll that area for a minute, you might need to switch up your rig. You might need to switch up your bait, whatever's on your rod. But if you continuously, kind of stay in that flow of where you see them, more than likely you're going to catch them.
And you draw them out too.
And I've heard too, like I think a lot of guys, what they'll do is, even if they see them, they're not re-rigging or anything. If they don't get a bite, they're going somewhere else. And that's the thing. If you see them, that's where they're at, and you got to re-rig and get down to the depth they're at, and you have to rig the bait that they're chewing. Or, you're not going to catch them. Finding them is the hardest part.
And there's no point in being complacent with what you got. If you're reading fish at 70 feet. Sometimes you gotta realize if you're at 30 and it's some wintertime, those fish aren't moving. They're tired. They are complacent where they are. You have to get it to where they are. That's a big thing too. It's a lot sometimes, especially you got manual downriggers. You're rigging up and you're dropping back down because the level of the lake fluctuates too in that little area that we fish. It can go from 100 feet to 30 feet like that in a matter of feet.
I think what's cool too is though, like we're fishing probably one of the hardest lakes there is to catch fish in out here, and I feel like we've been going there consistently, and we're trying so hard, and we're picking up some kind of momentum there. That once we get out to other lakes, I feel like it's going to be more kosher. And that's what we're going to do, too, in these next episodes. So we've been talking about going down to Comanche Lake, and Comanche Lake is one of my favorite lakes that I fished at out here. I have never not caught a fish at Comanche Lake. And so once we get out there on the boat, I've trolled a couple times. But
I've seen good come out of Comanche, just not even in a fishing sense. Just I've told him multiple times, heading up the fork of the river on Comanche.
Yeah.
And I see boats that have stringers on the side, and they got trout that are this big.
Yeah.
They're like, 6-pound trout.
Yeah.
They're just big rainbows too, nonetheless. Like, so they're out there. I would definitely try. I would definitely want to go and try Comanche.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm down for that.
Yeah. So next episode, guys, we kind of talked you through like our thought process and the reason why we're doing this and why it's so cool to us, and hopefully it's cool to you guys too. But prepare for next episode. Next episode will be out at Comanche. We're going to make that happen, and hopefully we walk away with the steal, man.
Hopefully something, yeah.
I honestly, I feel like we are.
Yeah,
but
so,
I don't want to...
So
the anticipation build.
Some upcoming things to look forward to that we're going to try is Comanche. We'll probably try Comanche next. Comanche, we definitely want to hit Collins Lake also.
Yeah.
Try and get some lightnings up there maybe.
Yeah.
Collins seems to be hit or miss with people.
Yeah.
Excuse me, that's the general census that I get.
Yeah.
So, but Collins, and you start getting up into the Sierra Nevadas, and, that's trout heaven for me.
Yeah.
That, and for everyone else.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
we're definitely on the prowl. We're definitely hunting, and we're going to be looking, and, we hope that you guys can join us, find some sort of entertainment. And as always, if you have any tips, tricks, info, anything that's worked for you in the past around this time, just let us know. We're about mid-December here, so anything you guys got, feel free to shoot our way, and we'll try it. Maybe we'll do a thing where one of you guys gives a suggestion and we get those things and we try it ourselves, and we do a review on your suggestion kind of thing. So maybe something like that we can
awesome.
do, throw into that.
I like that idea. Heck yeah.
Yeah, so with that, I think we'll wrap this first episode up. Something short, something sweet, maybe a little bit longer in the future if we ever decide to catch anything. So, with that, I guess we'll be signing off now. And like I said, as always, give us your ideas, give us what works for you, because we're open to try anything. So.
Two guys trying.
Thank you, guys.